Hi, guys. I hope you all had an awesome weekend. I know that I did, and I really wanted to hear about yours. So, for writing today, sorry, Brutus is having a sneezing fit next to me. So, I wanted for writing today for you to talk a little bit about how you spent your weekend. Remember that down here where it says written by, that's where you're going to write your name because you are the author of this writing. So I know that when we're writing a personal narrative like this, we're writing about ourselves. That is kind of more of a fun write, but I do want to make sure that you are including all the things that good writers do, good third grade writers do, especially when they're getting ready for fourth grade. So I have a little checklist for you to make sure that you include all of these things to make your writing awesome. So make sure to include the names of anybody you were with. So if you were with a brother or sister, don't just say my brother or sister, say their names. Make sure you stretch out your thoughts so the reader can picture what's happening in their minds. So, for example, if you were having a catch with a sibling, then maybe you talk about like how fast you were throwing, if you had to jump up to catch a ball, if you were doing grounders and high pops, instead of just saying I had a catch. So add those details. You can also add a picture that matches your weekend. I also would like you to use vocabulary words in your writing, at least one. So I have shared with you the vocabulary words list of all of the words that we've had so far this year. So this is not something that you have to do anything with other than look at and get some ideas. You don't have to turn it in. But just remember that the vocabulary word is on the left side. Its definition or what it means is on the right, just in case you've forgotten. So try to use one in your writing and to try to use some type of figurative language. So remember that those are those posters that I always have that I had on my desk. So you're thinking of a simile, like one that could be like, we ran as fast as cheetahs down to the playground or something like that. Onomatopoeia as a sound word like bang, boom, pop. Alliteration is when you repeat the same first letter or first sound. And then try to use some dialogue, show people talking and use quotation marks to show that they're talking. Okay? So here's my example. I tried to use some alliteration even in the title, My Wonderful Weekend. And then I highlighted in a different color some of the different things that I used from the checklist. So I'm just going to read it to you. This weekend was as beautiful as a spring flower. I spent a lot of time outside because the weather was so nice. I read a few chapters of my book in our hammock, and before you know it, I had dozed off. Zzz. As I was dreaming, I heard Caden call, Mom, can we have some lunch? I knew then that it was back to the grind. We decided to eat some lunch outside and continued to enjoy the warm weather. So I tried to, like I said, highlight the different things that I included, but I'm missing one. So if I were to go back to my little checklist, I can go back and I know that it's some of the figurative language, or I'm sorry, something from this side. So I've used some figurative language. I did use dialogue. I showed that Kaden was talking, but I didn't use a vocabulary word. So this is how you can use this checklist. Then you would go back, reread it, and see where you can add one in. Okay. Then on the last page, this is where you'll do your writing. After your writing, I have decided that for your research, the one that you've been doing on your Lines at Lunchtime Animal, that we're going to try and do some group work. So I know that we're not together, but we're going to be working on a Google slide collaboratively. So I'm just going to read through the rules and then you'll have a little quiz just to make sure that you know exactly what all of the rules are. So it says we're going to be doing some group work using some of the information that we researched. Here are some rules for the group work. You will be creating a Google slide with other students who research the same or a similar animal as you. They may even be in the other class, which is kind of cool. There may be certain facts that you are assigned. Otherwise, you'll be writing about an interesting fact that you found. So this should be the same fact that you included in your research because you'll also need to include the source or where you found the information. So whatever you wrote down before or typed in before as to where you got it from, whether it was from a book or from a website, you're going to add that onto your slide, but you can copy and paste it. So it should be pretty easy peasy. You're going to add one picture to each slide that you add. So you can add 5 slides if you want to, if you have that many facts that you wanted to share, and then you can do one on each. If you only have 2, that's fine. That's going to be the requirement, but you can do more if you'd like to. I know that a lot of you like to change the backgrounds, but you can only change the background of your slide. So the title slide, the opening one, that one will be one that I choose, but any slides that you add, you can change. You cannot edit, change, delete in any way any other slide other than your own. So if your partner or your group member made a spelling mistake or you see something that they need to fix, you can chat with them and using the chat feature, but I do not want you to edit their slides. If you are using the chat feature, I'm going to show you how to use that in your slides. You can say hello, you can ask your group members a question, but I do want you to remember that I can see everything that you write, so please make smart choices. Once you're done, take the time to read the whole slide presentation when you and your team are done so that you can learn even more about your animal. Okay? Once you're done this, you're going to go through and then take this little quiz that just asks a little bit about what your job is going to be, because I need you to make sure that you understand how this is going to work, because this is going to be tricky doing group work with friends who are not in the same classroom as you and doing it from our home. Okay? Okay, so I'm just going to go back in just to remind you that this is where the chat feature is. So it looks like a little speech bubble. So when you and your partners are working, if you click there, click on it, this little box pops up and there's a little comment box. You can type in like, hey, Milani, or whoever, and then click comment, and then they'll see it. So you can talk back and forth that way, but I can see it. So just a reminder. Okay, that is all of your work for today. I can't wait to see what you do. Just do your best.